Good evening, everyone. I am Chris, joined once again with JXEDITOR to talk more Star Wars The Acolyte. We're up to the very infamous Episode 3. Its reputation definitely preceded it, so nothing really took me by surprise in this episode. I was kind of already made aware of everything that was going to happen. Already, before even opening the stream, we've already got 3 comments. For some reason, they never appear immediately on the stream. I don't get what happens with Streamlabs with that. I'm just going to rattle through these opening comments real quick, and then we'll dive into the pleasantries and the intros and all of that good stuff. We've got a comment from Bath Time says, I'll try and pop in when I'm finished for this one. I've seen people going mental all over Twitter, but I've no idea what's happened. Bath Time, I don't know if you're watching the episode right now then and then going to jump into our stream after you're done with it. But yeah, if you do, let me know your thoughts on it. It'd be very interesting. And then we've got 2 comments from Toby Houston who says, watch the episode first. Watch the episode first thing this morning. Went to work, been looking forward to this stream so we can vent about it. Got some remarks to retract from last week. This show is bad, fellas. Anyway, hello lads. It's Wednesday, my dudes. It is midweek. Hump day. Do people still call it hump day? My mind lives in the gutter, so I always think of completely different...
I don't think so.
And Carl says, evening guys, how you doing, man? Hope you're having a good one, and hopefully you survived this episode of The Acolyte. I don't know where we want to jump in with this one. I guess we'd start with general opinions, because I think this is going to be a very interesting back and forth tonight. I think our opinions differ greatly on this episode, and maybe even the show in general so far. So I'm going to kick over to you, JX. Hi, by the way.
Our opinions... Hello.
Yeah, I think we might have a bit of lag, fellas. So yeah, we'll just hang in there. I think the internet isn't quite what it is tonight, but we'll see.
I always have problems.
Yeah, I know. Don't we all?
I can't keep this up. I'm not doing this the whole stream.
I was trying to play along. He was trying to do this whole lagging thing.
Yeah. It's I guess you could call it a ventriloquism trick.
Yeah. No, it's good. It looked good. Just another comment from Carl says, definitely wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but still wasn't good.
I'm curious to find out what that means.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's start with your opinions on this.
Well, like I said, I really liked this episode. I actually I have a note at the end. I think this episode, it shows me that the show kind of really gets the Jedi. Because one thing that I've seen a lot of people tend to forget is that Luke is wrong in The Last Jedi. Like, he is meant to be incorrect. He isn't not right a lot of the time, but he's still wrong. And the Jedi are imperfect. They're not the do no wrong, like, excuse me, almost as Luke put it, deified, as Ben Kenobi described them. But they are trying to do their best. They're just imperfect. You know what I'm saying? They're not. They're not like. I've seen a lot of people write the Jedi as just politicians with sticks, with glowing sticks.
For me,
including George Lucas sometimes.
For me, it seems like I'm tired of this whole like subversive, contrarian, and just kind of mean-spirited attitude to like everything, and not just Star Wars, but like a lot of legacy things that are going on at the moment. And it just seems like, oh, let's tear the Jedi down and let's make them into, if not outright villains, kind of like anti-heroes kind of thing, like just really negative sentiments about them. Now, I don't dispute with the prequels, I think probably when you look at the original trilogy, it is very clear-cut good and evil, and I there's nothing wrong with that, like a simplicity in that, and I actually really like that about Star Wars, although I'll talk about one of the cast members saying there is no good and evil in Star Wars. I'm like, yes, there is. the evil side blow up an actual fucking planet.
Oh yeah, no, there's no. Thrawn puts it perfectly. There are things in this galaxy that just are undeniably and unequivocally evil.
Yeah, but now with this new thing, and it's not even just this. Like they've been trying to do it for ages. Like Last Jedi was trying to do it, and a whole bunch of other stuff. They're trying to sort of like blur the lines. This whole like grey Jedi bullshit that they keep doing, and it kind of came to a head in this one for me today. Like the Jedi are kind of put across as really not good people. Now in the prequels it just seemed like they were misguided.
I didn't get that at all.
A little bit complacent maybe, and now in this, like, the Jedi wouldn't just show up like this to an exiled cult of witches and be like, right, we're testing we've heard you've got 2 children here in your ranks, bring them forth right now, we're gonna fucking take them. Like, I don't think that's how it... Now, you've watched the Clone Wars and stuff like that, and I know isn't there an episode with, like, Plo Koon or something who recruits Ahsoka? I might be wrong in that. Is it done in this way, though? This was just kind of, like, vilified.
You just hold it right there. I don't know if you can hear the ringing, but I can hear the ringing, and I want it to stop.
That's okay, I'll read some comments. JT Verber, I'm going to go with Verber, says, Jegs editor, you have to be kidding. And then Toby Houston says, Carl, I'm glad your expectations were subverted. Mine were also subverted. This episode was bad in both concept and execution. The first and second episode get a 4 out of 10. This one is a whopping 0 out of 10. Tragic. And then JT Verber says, the ploy of this show doesn't make sense. What's to, and unfortunately it's cropping out the comment. I'm gonna have to check the screen. What's to like about it? I'm not in a position to answer that question, so I'll pass that one over to you, because I know you're kind of digging this show at the moment. So what's to like about it? JT Verber asks.
Well, first and foremost, the world building I've really enjoyed so far. It doesn't offer new answers. It just offers new takes. Do you get what I'm saying?
What takes? What takes?
Like literally, we have a whole new perspective on the group's perspective on the Force. Like what we see with the Dathomir witches for the first time in not in Clone Wars, in the courtship of Princess Leia. That was the first appearance of the Night Sisters. Literally, like Han and Prince Isildur, or no, not Isildur, but very close. Play cards over Dathomir, like to win Dathomir, I think, or something. It's insane.
I hate the concept of magic in Star Wars, because the Force is like, if you break it down to its story elements, its traditional story elements in the original Star Wars, the Force is the placeholder for magic. And that is what exists in this world. But now you have the Force, and then you also have like dark magic and witches and Morgan Elspeth, whatever the fuck her name was, in Ahsoka. And now you've got these people who are using the Force, but they don't call it the Force. They say it's a thread that can be plucked. And potential, I mean, there's one moment in this episode that I was like, I'm kind of curious about that. I mean, I don't give a fuck about this show, but there was one moment in this where they're talking about, we're meant to infer that the twins are Immaculate Conception again, which again takes away from the special, like the Chosen One, Anakin's story, and the fact that that was meant to be like a special freak occurrence.
If 2 people are still doing something.
What, they scissor twins into existence? I don't think that's how it's meant to work. But
I don't think that's how they did it. But I would. Hang on. I need to exactly determine.
Well, she says, like, if they found out what you did to bring them into this world or something, or, like, she did some, like, dodgy, dark magic, Darth Plagueis kind of shit. I don't know what it's going to be. That whole, like, pit, volcano, mountain thing that they were on, where they were doing, like, the whole, like, airbending shit, which was crazy. It looked like a dark side nexus, almost, like the hole in The Last Jedi. So I don't know if it's something to do with that.
Maybe.
But it just... it just... I'm done. I'm so done. But Brinsley is on your side. Brinsley says, "Sup lads, I'm digging the show as well. Interested to see where it goes. Tell us how you really feel." Oh, this is like a therapy session for me every week. But like, I'm done. Like, I've been done with Star Wars for a long time, so this is just kind of like formalities now. Like, the pain, it doesn't hurt me as much anymore. I'm just kind of letting it wash over me now. But there was some dumb fucking shit in this episode. I hated episode 1 and 2, but out of the 3 so far, this was downright embarrassing in some points, I thought. But we'll go into the episode proper in a moment. Toby says, "I hear you, JX. New takes are good in theory. Nice to have that compared to endless fan service, but it's just so badly done, so utterly reactionary. The Force is a thread. Since when?" Yeah, the only defense I've seen is that people are going, "Oh, well, this is another cult, and this is their interpretation of what the Force is." And
oh, hang on, wait! I actually have something on here for that. Okay, so so this Force. Fuck. I can say the fuck word on the stream, right?
Fuck yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, don't say fucking from the KIDS.
Please, younglings.
Okay, so this cult calls the Force the thread. I get that. It binds us together in a large tapestry. That was my thought as soon as I heard they called it the thread.
Do you remember that oh god, what's his name? Daniel Day-Lewis film, The Phantom Thread? Does that mean that can be now like a Star Wars title?
Oh, now I want breakfast.
What's my note here on that? I'm skipping down because like that whole thread bullshit kind of comes halfway through.
I skipped 3 of them.
I put the Force is now a thread. Stop trying to reinvent Star Wars, you fucks. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know how I feel about these guys using the Force. It's meant to be an ability that the Jedi can use, and now it just seems like, oh no, through magical bullshit manipulation, we can just, like, anyone can use it. Anyone can have the Force, whether they've had training or not.
Chris, you got that backwards.
What?
Through the Force, you can do what you would call magic.
Yeah, but not everyone can harness that. That's why you have to train from, like, the age of 4.
Yeah, and they've been training in magic.
So, is this magic or is this the Force? Or is it the same thing?
Yes.
That doesn't check out, because you got, like, the Dathomiri shit. That's magic. That's, like, dark magic.
Yes, and it's through the Force.
This fucking bullshit, man. No. This is why when you've got you have a magic system that works that you had in the original trilogy and the prequels, the Force. That was it. And then you're introducing this kind of like subcategory of like where you can resurrect people and shit through like dark with like what's his name? Savage Opress and shit in the Clone Wars. You've got all of that bullshit. Now you've got these chicks like
he
magic
doesn't get
bullshit.
Resurrected. No. Savage doesn't get resurrected. He gets steroids.
Well, possessed, and then you had like the fucking fart cloud shit in Ahsoka. That guy in the suit of armor that was like a green fart cloud. You have zombie stormtroopers that are resurrected through dark magic. Like there's magic now that exists in a separate category to the Force, and now you've got this whole thread thing that can be plucked and tweaked.
It's all the Force. The Force is the basis of all their magic. Whether that magic is the ways of the Jedi, because the ways of the Jedi and the Force, that like it's squares and rectangles, buddy.
So any fucker can just woo, and they can use the Force now because they're magic and witches. They haven't trained in the Jedi arts. They haven't trained in the dark side. They haven't trained in the Jedi arts. They can just pluck a thread and now they can force push people. That's how it works now.
What the fuck are you talking about?
You have to train from like the age of 4 under like the Jedi fucking order to use the Force, right? You might be Force sensitive,
under a teacher, like for example, the witches that raised them. the coven of witches that might have taught them these things? What the fuck are you talking about, Chris?
So it's not the Jedi, it's not the Sith, it's just any magical bullshit cult can use the Force now as well. Anyone.
If they're Force sensitive, yeah, of course.
It just doesn't make it as special anyway. It's like any Tom, Dick, or Harry can use the fucking Force now, or the thread. Sorry, and pluck it and do whatever you want. The strength of one,
Chris,
the strength of two.
Chris, I don't understand how this contradicts literally anything. Because if you're Force sensitive either way, and then you get trained in this one sect of the Force, then you can do the thing that sect of the Force can do. What's the problem?
Because you had a magic system which is now convoluted that apparently anyone can tap into.
No, stop saying that apparently anyone. It's not apparent because there's nothing that has actually said that.
Well, Disney have said that. Disney have said everyone has the Force. Anyone can use the Force now. They said that. They literally said that during the sequel trilogy.
No. Okay. No.
Yes,
no.
And I will send you a video confirming this.
Anyone could use the Force, not anyone can use the Force. Do you have any idea what the difference is?
I do have an idea what the difference is, and I have a video to confirm my summation of what I just said, and I can send it you after this stream, which they spell it out very clearly.
Send it to me. Send it to me now.
I will. Well, we're in a stream right now, so I can't. We've got to keep this show running, haven't we?
No, Chris, because the thing is, from what I can tell, the message of The Last Jedi isn't that anyone can use the Force. It's that anyone would use the Force. Like, you don't have to be somebody to be somebody.
You're trying to do the Ratatouille bullshit. That might be like a nice idea in theory, but that's not what they've said. They've contradicted that, and they've said that anyone can use it.
Okay, if they
anyone
have
has
actually,
it and anyone
if
can
they
use
have
it.
straight up. Okay, because I will say the All right. I mean, everybody's got midichlorians, so it's just those just determine how easy it is. And I figured if you have like a midichlorian count of like 10, it's probably in the realm of impossibility.
Let's see.
I don't think anybody has a midichlorian count of 10, but I have no idea what midichlorians actually.
Maybe Dexter Jetster.
Yeah, because apparently Han has 1,000, but like 1,000 is just the baseline of like what regular people have. Legends.
JT Verba says, magic in Star Wars is bullshit. Watch Harry Potter if you want magic. Well, as I say, like, the originals, like, you had it. Like, they didn't call it magic. Did they call it? No, they don't call it magic at any point, do they? No, but that's just what it is. But now, I don't know, it seems like it's grayed a little bit. Brinsley says, I'm kind of glad I skipped Boba Fett and Ahsoka. Obi-Wan was kind of boring, but I love Andor, and I don't hate the Acolyte so far. Oh, Andor's fucking great. Unfortunately, not many people watched it. And I'm cautiously optimistic for season 2. I'm just wonder if like Disney are going to come in with notes and be like,
you asked me a question.
We need more lightsabers and we need more of this, and it's gonna. We'll see. We'll see. I'm actually not sure when that's coming out. Is it next year, or I think it got pushed back, didn't it? Is it next year or the following year or something? Season 2. Carl says.
I have no idea.
Carl says, I went in the episode expecting the worst due to the reports, but wasn't as bad as that. It definitely paints the Jedi in a bad light and makes them look like groomers. Yeah, that's what I mean. It just... How they just rock up and be like, right.
Here's the thing. They did not seem to be like, we're going to take your children. That seemed to be what everybody thought they were going to do, except for them.
Well, it's just that, like,
and there is a difference.
They show up uninvited.
Like, right, but the thing is, that's how they get the reputation that everybody thinks that they're just going to take our kids. But
and
that's
then they
not
start
what they
waving
do.
around rights, like, it is Republic law that we can trial any child we want and take them on as Jedi if we see fit.
Oh, yeah, no, I have a comment about that line in particular, but also the line about Republic law was about the Coven, not about the taking the children thing.
Well, they talk about to trial them, right? They say that it
No,
is
yeah.
with yeah.
They say it is with. Hang on. Oh, God damn it! It would have to be up. No, where the. Okay. Uh, so the note I have is wait. So do Jedi? So the line is we have the right to we have the right to test any potential Padawans with
Mm.
your permission. And my line and my note is wait. So do Jedi have the right to test potential Padawans, or do they need permission?
Yeah. Yeah, it's I don't know, it just came across as so villainous. But then you have like moments where is it Sol, the Asian Jedi? I'm still trying to learn the names. Sol
I think
saves her at the
Soul.
end.
I think
Sol.
it's meant to be like SOUL, but it's SOL. Because it's SOL. I've like gone through like three different pronunciations.
Mm. We'll probably like
But
snap back
I
to the
think
beginning in a minute and go in order because otherwise it's just going to be all over. Because I've
yeah,
got a lot of notes on this
I
one.
have jumped to like four notes. Yeah.
Toby says, the thing I cannot get over is the fact that these occultists view power as the ultimate goal of enlightened living. Not wisdom, not spiritual awareness, not living harmoniously. No power. Is this Star Wars or a
Is
Marxist
that a thing?
analogy? It's possible to have both. Andor did this extremely well, but this show relies on modern allegory to give the narrative depth without any character work to back it up. There's definitely a lot of modernism in this, I will say that, definitely. It's just
Oh, the power of the one, power of the two. Oh yeah, okay, I could see where you're coming from there. I was trying to think like what you meant by the ultimate goal of power.
I was just reading, just reading the comment as it was. Brinsley says the
No,
law
no,
was
no. I'm
about them
talking.
not.
I'm talking to the commenter, not
Oh,
you.
right. Brinsley
You.
says the law was about them not being allowed to train children. I think, yeah, like they're allowed to. I will say, like the mother character. I don't know the actress, the one who was like, she is a strong woman, and then like people start applauding in the audience, and she's like, yes, yes, like that one, the one in the background. She's like comes across as like really, really vehemently against the Jedi, like to the point
We're
where
talking about Pointy Head.
yeah, she no, the other one, and she's like
Yeah.
she like
Oh,
possesses one of the Jedi and is about to give him like a fucking lobotomy or something, and then all of a sudden she has like a complete 180 personality change, and I don't think the show effectively got her from A to B. It was almost like in the next scene, the next morning, she was fine and happy sending them off and wishing them well, and packing their bags
I could
and
see what you're saying there.
it seemed like her personality was really kind of aggressive and sinister and almost like a villain at the beginning, and then midway through they just changed tact and she was a lot more approachable, I guess, and cool with the situation and the Jedi being there. um yeah.
Well, as they say, if they killed four Jedi, that would what's that line in the What We Do in the Shadows? If we kill those cops, then potentially more cops could show up, and then maybe even Christians, and nobody wants that.
So hang on, Ridge479 says JX makes a well-established point with law. Chris screams Disney and gets embarrassed. Are you talking about the same law that Disney got rid of and decanonized, or are you talking about what is now Disney law? I'd love to hear, Ridge.
Neither. I think he's talking about the Dathomir witches in the Clone Wars. Though I referenced their first appearance in the courtship of Princess Leia.
Mm-hmm. And I mentioned about the whole like grooming side of the Jedi Masters taking children, which came across as sinister in this.
Ridge, you've watched a lot of these streams, haven't you?
But I did also say, but I believe in the Clone Wars Plo Koon takes Ahsoka. I haven't seen that episode, so I don't know under what circumstances he takes Ahsoka. If it's a little bit lighter and not quite as sinister as this, or if it's just as sinister as this, I don't know. So like, I'm open for people to fill me in with that.
Oh well, we see in Tales of the Jedi that the Togruta clan that Ahsoka was born to are more okay with the Jedi because they're more okay with the Jedi.
Carl
Like
Robert.
the Ahsoka gets like the whole like, oh, lion's gonna eat the baby thing, but then the baby comes back riding the lion.
Mm-hmm.
That it was they did that. That's how Ahsoka became a Jedi. That trope.
Right. Speaking of Ahsoka, Carl says in Ahsoka they pretty much said everyone has the Force.
Oh yeah, I mean, they definitely said Sabine had the Force.
Oh boy, yeah. No,
Yeah, she was bad.
no training, and then she's
Literally,
like
like
force pushing
he says
Ezra at
to
the
her,
end.
what's his name? Who is what's David?
David Tennant droid
Fuck.
said she's like the worst Jedi to have ever Jedi'd.
You were. He's literally like, I have helped every Jedi ever.
And in
You're the
never in
worst.
my life have I seen a worse Jedi than you. I don't know, within the span of 8 episodes, she seemed pretty damn fucking good to me. Like, I've seen a lot worse. What about
Uh,
that kid who's like,
I,
because
will-
thumb on
I,
a
I
wraithed it
mean,
from the
when you
archive
say like,
memory?
oh wait, are you specifically just talking about the push or just like the whole like her throughout the series
Well,
that series when she gets in fights?
survives a lightsaber stab, barely an inconvenience, force pushing Ezra. She seems pretty proficient with the force to me.
Okay, so specifically those two things, or
Well,
again,
doesn't she hold her own in a
because
fight
you
against
mentioned
Shin Hati? Like, doesn't she fight her for a brief period?
yeah, kind of in the first episode they have a fight, she loses. I would more attribute any like fighting capability with being a Mandalorian though.
Mm.
Especially because she wielded the dark saber once, so she has had some training with a lightsaber. We see it. We get a great, actually, first confirmation in canon of the Mandalorian Wars. Freddie Prince Jr.
Mm.
Fuck. Uh, Caleb
Cade,
Doom. For some reason, Caden Jarrus.
Caden.
I
There we
remembered
go.
his name. Yeah, I remembered his real name before he went into hiding, but I could not remember his the name he actually goes by. Um, he knocks her to the ground when she like relies on like Mandalorian technology. He's like, newsflash, Mandalore lost the war with the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't think it was newsflash. I think it was like, here's a history lesson or something. It sounded less modern.
Rich says Yoda's speech in 5 implies everything living has the Force. Yeah, but it's not everyone,
Actually,
like not
I will
everyone
point.
can harness it. You know, like the iguana that you see outside of the cave, you know, couldn't harness the Force. Well, I was
You know,
saying that
actually, I
this.
will point to that as like the earliest indication that midichlorians could be a thing. Like life creates it and makes it grow. Was like, I
Yeah,
mean,
I
that
guess
could,
it's
if
sort
that's
of.
taken literally, then yeah, I guess if it's bacteria,
I guess it'd be like photosynthesis and shit in plants, maybe, or like things like nature and shit just
any
happening.
SpongeBob fans.
Um, Toby says, in concept, the Force should be able to be with anyone. People tend to make this
Like,
remark in
I
response to
like
the notion that the Skywalkers are more important. Well, George Lucas made that a fact. I mean, it's the Skywalker saga, which implies a lineage over a large period of time of a certain character or whatever it happens to be. A saga. You know, it's a long
that's
spread
just
epic
narrative
story.
importance.
Yeah, narrative. He gave it a numerical value in the Phantom Menace. Even Master Yoda doesn't have a midichlorian count that high. That already says that this person is more important, is more powerful numerically than what we've known before. Because before that, the Force was
That's
just this
again, that's not
spiritual
about how
concept.
powerful you are. That's just about how wide open the door is.
Mm. Um,
Like how easy it will be for you to be. Jesus Christ.
and the fact that he says, you know, my father has it, I have it, my sister has it, it implies, you know, it's the Skywalker saga. It is about this family, or at least it was.
Geode is a Jedi, so any
Geode is
what?
a Jedi, so anything. Oh, is he
A
talking
rock?
about like a rock? Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Is there a rock Jedi?
Maybe. Was he like Korg or something from Thor? I don't know.
Reach out. Close your eyes.
Toby says, but I would argue the Skywalkers are important because the story is about the overcoming of intergenerational trauma, not because they are the only important family. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's, you know,
I
as
agree.
George Lucas said, it's a soap opera. You know, that's at its core what it should be about. That's what the story is. Right. the beginning of the episode. Brendock, 16 years, 16 years, I think it was, 16 years ago. The opening line, I'm guessing the two actresses are twins in this, but they do look slightly different. Like, you can pick them apart, definitely.
Yes, I was honestly, for a second, I was like, oh wait, are they doing another effect? And I was like, no, it looks like they just got twins, which kind of explains the wooden dialogue.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. So the opening line, you've got Osha waiting underneath the tree. Much. She says, "How did you know I was here? When I can't find you, I look here." So she always finds her then, I'm guessing, because she's always there. Like,
yeah. Why would you question that?
It's not much of a secret hiding spot if you go there every time.
How did you know I would be here?
It's because you're always here. Like, yeah, terrible. And the actor,
it's like the kid that hides under the blanket in hide and seek. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
And then my next note is literally what you just said. I've got acting is so fucking bad from the young twins. And as the episode went on, it wasn't just from the young twins. It felt the whole thing felt very much like a cheap CW show with really terrible acting across the board. As I say, I think the only person... Carrie-Anne Moss is just absolutely wasted in this. Like, I know she's a good actress. I've seen her in really good stuff. Like, she's brilliant in Memento. Obviously, the Matrix trilogy as well. Oh, yeah, there's 4 films now. Not trilogy.
Hang on, wait a second. She was not great in the Matrix trilogy.
I thought she was... that's probably the direction. You know, they wanted to... That's how they had to be portrayed. I thought her acting was pretty good. I wouldn't say her acting's bad by any stretch of the imagination.
Watch her death scene and then compare it to just her and Cypher talking about Neo, and tell me if there's any difference in the tone of those scenes, like her performance.
I mean, okay, now you say that, there's one part that I remember in the first Matrix film where I'm like, you could have gone for a different take of that. But again, it could have been the direction. So when she's on the phone, she's like, God damn you, Cypher? Yeah, God damn you, Cypher.
Oh, God, we're talking about the Matrix again.
Yeah, I remember that. Okay, I take it all back, but she's great in Memento.
Sequels,
but, you know, we said this last week, the only reason that she's been cast in this is because they wanted a Matrix-like fight. They wanted someone stoic.
That Matrix fight?
Yeah.
Probably.
But Soul, I think Soul is probably the best so far. If I had to pick, Soul is probably...
No, I get it. I said Soul a couple times.
Yeah. Oh, apparently, yeah. So Geode is a rock Jedi. Rich says he is a literal rock called Geode in the High Republic. Well, now I've got to Google image this guy because
I haven't. You see, I haven't actually read any High Republic.
Geode, High Republic.
I like that Brinsley and I made the same joke.
Wait.
This is real?
He's a literal slab of stone. He is just...
Wait, is this like...
He is just stone. He is just a stone.
Oh my god, this is like that Green Lantern that's literally just a planet.
This is Disney Star. So Geode is a...
What the hell?
He's a rock Jedi.
This feels like something out of the old EU. And not I'm not saying that in a good way.
He's a rock Jedi.
I want it perfectly clear. I am not saying that in a good way. Not everything that came out of Star Wars Legends was good. A lot of it was bad.
How does this guy
Shout
go
out to
on
my
missions?
boy Waru.
How does this guy go on missions?
Maybe he's just like a seer. He just meditates.
Can we just replace every single scene of Rey in the sequel trilogy with Geode? Just the lifting rock.
The lifting joke you could make.
The lifting rock scene at the end of The Last Jedi. It's just a giant slab of stone lifting all these rocks. That's insane. Oh god.
That's all my guy.
Carl says Star Wars just put a tweet out with an episode guide and the comments are gold. Pretty much everyone is saying do better, Disney. They can't. They won't. They know exactly what they're doing. It's past the point of parody now. They're doubling down and good luck to them.
Hell yeah.
The bit where I almost shut this entire episode off wasn't, well, maybe from the opening credits perhaps, thinking, oh fuck, I've got to watch this episode, but may we have some spice creams. Now, I'm all for new foods being introduced into Star Wars.
I think it's spiced cream.
Spiced cream,
I didn't make the connection until you pointed it out.
Did you really not? They mention it like a million times.
I really did not. I was taking notes. And
like,
also, I was trying to imagine what spice cream was because I wanted to try it.
I was just
I wasn't thinking, that sounds like ice cream. I was thinking, ooh, I wonder, is that like a custard? Would that be like a cinnamony or like anise maybe? Like would it be very, very kind of like it made like a chai custard?
Mm-hmm.
That
I mean,
really
I'm sure they're delicious. I'm sure they are, but just
keep an eye on my channel for the spice cream recipe video.
They kept mentioning it as well. I was like,
chai custard.
You know what? I'd rather them have hot chocolate. I'd rather them have hot chocolate in this shit.
I mean, yeah, that would be a fun callback.
Like, at that point, if you're gonna say spice cream, which just makes me internally cringe, and you want to have that in there,
or is just seasoning.
Just say ice cream. Like, if you want to do it, just fucking do it. Don't even try and dress it up.
Well, here's the thing: they could totally get away with ice cream because ice cream isn't like a thing that it would be like exclusive to Earth because it's not exclusive to cows.
Mm.
Anything that makes milk would also create cream. And ice is also not exclusive, as we see it is on Hoth and Ilum.
Don't eat yellow snow.
We see... Why not?
Those stormtroopers got to take a piss somewhere, you know? I'm just thinking of Monsters, Inc. right now. Like, hey, I made snow cones. Oh, don't worry. It's lemon. Love that.
We are fucking unhinged.
We really are.
Are lesbian witches a trope? I swear to God, I've seen this in other things, but the only thing I can think of is Dishonored 2.
We had this conversation last night a little bit. We was trying to think. The only one I can think of is the Nick Cage Wicker Man remake, where it's like this covered... Oh, I guess they are kind of witches, aren't they? You know, sort of folklore-ish... You know, pagan.
I think I said witches be crazy a lot during the Ahsoka streams, so I'm going to try not to say it during this one.
Lesbian witches. I've got the Wicker Man. That's all I've got. I'm trying. There's got to be something else. What about Roald Dahl's The Witches?
Like I said, Dishonored 2, but I mean, it wasn't really. It might be a little too old to have kind of gotten away with that and still been.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, good question. I will say, though, to this episode's defense, I think it's heavily implied. Well, we know that at least the two leaders, the Darth Maul chick with the horns in her head and the black chick, like the main one, we know that they're an item because of the way they greet each other. I think it's probably a good...
And they have 2 children.
Yeah. Yeah. They need to explain that shit, but okay.
I think we've gotten exactly what we need to explain that. I think it's just vague enough because the thing is, you said we've got another immaculate conception. I looked up what immaculate means just to make sure I had the exact, I wasn't like misusing the term. It means spotless, free of imperfection. 2 witches. No, that's not the word I should use because the Force has 2 meanings. How best to black magic pagan sex ritual 2 children into existence is not immaculate.
Wasn't that a line in the Marvels where she's like black woman magic or something? Monica Rambeau. Like, that's an actual line that was written.
I did not see the Marvel. I haven't seen any of the any of the Marvel movies.
You having a fucking stroke? What's happening right now?
I haven't seen Captain Marvel, the Marvels. I haven't seen any of the Marvel movies with Marvel in the title.
So I will say with this episode, they don't outright say that all of them are lesbians, because that was what the rumor mill was. It was lesbian space witches or something like that. And yes, the main two are, and there's probably a good chance that a lot of the other ones are too. They don't outright say it.
I feel like
I'll give them.
I feel like the
points for
Venn
that.
diagram of witches to witches and lesbians, it's probably pretty close.
Yeah, they all
I
seemed
could do
very
something very crude
man-hating.
with my hands right now.
They all seemed very man-hating, and they were all excellent with their hands as well.
They
I
seem
will say that.
Jedi hating.
Yeah, I guess so. Right. Anyway,
I didn't see anything that really signifies they don't like men.
I have so progressive, so diverse. Yas, yas. Leslie Headland self-insert. Yada yada. Immaculate twin conception from 2 women. Sure.
And not immaculate, probably, maybe. I don't. It depends where we draw that line.
As I say, they mention that thing where she says if they found out what you had to do or what you did to create them, or I can't remember what the line is, but they hint at black magic.
Doesn't sound immaculate.
Stuff. No, so if that's it, fine. But yeah. Carl asked a good comment.
It seems like it would be something.
Oh, sorry.
It seems like it would be something.
Oh no.
Unnatural.
There we go. I'm almost at that note. So we just need to hold off for a second. Carl says, are we thinking the mother with horns is the masked Sith? Yeah, it's either going to be one of the mothers.
I do not. I don't think it's either of the mothers. I don't think it's. I think May would be the only survivor of that of the cult. I think it's a different cult. She's now part of a different cult.
Well, I don't think we see a body of the Darth Maul chick, do we?
I don't know. We saw a lot of bodies. I didn't stop to check, but that is a good point.
And the way that the main mother, the black chick, like when it focuses on her body, it's quite dispassionate, and it seems like, oh, maybe they're keeping that open, like she'd probably like wake up and escape or something. It's definitely going to be one of the mothers. I think I've heard a rumor that they're going to do the whole line
so.
I am your mother line.
Oh god. Okay, if they do that again, that episode is going to be in the so bad it's good territory. But
yeah, I don't think this show.
If somebody we know can get away with it in a certain Rise of Skywalker edit, then.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't think this show, knowing, like, what Leslie Headland's doing with this thing and all the writers and the creative team behind it, I don't think this show will physically have the villain be, like, a guy. I think it's just going to be all women. I can guarantee that Smilo Ren is going to be a female character. And out of all the ones we've seen, I think it's just going to be one of the mothers. It's got a vendetta against the
voice
Jedi.
At the end of episode 1, it does sound very much like a modulated woman's voice.
Yeah, it's 100%. My bet is that it's going to be the black chick, but I could be mistaken. It's either going to be one of the mothers. At the moment, that's where I'm sort of like hedging my bets. Brinsley says, I thought the green alien Jedi was the secret Sith. Oh, yeah, Leslie Headland's wife, I think that is the one who plays the green alien Jedi. She's awful in this show, by the way. The makeup job is terrible on that character.
Yeah, I don't know what. There were a lot of prequel aliens that are just like different color people, and I was never particularly fond of that. I realized how not fond of that I was in Fallen Order when I looked in the background of the first cutscene and there were just a bunch of people with blue and yellow faces, and I'm like, I can't use those models in an edit.
Toby says, please, I need to hear that bad line delivery. Then we can add I am your mother to the climax of Rise of Skywalker and complete the circle. Girl power, yas, queen, yas, yas. Oh, it's so... Love it so much. Talked about the Force being a thread, so I don't need to go into that. I then have a note saying, I don't even know, I should have written down which scene I was looking at in particular, but to be honest, it's just all of them, really. I have $180 million for this show. The sets feel so cheap and claustrophobic, and the costumes look really cheap. Yeah, so like it might be the Jedi robes thing where they show up. I'm not sure. And I think I mentioned this in episode like with the white High Republic robes. It looks like really bad cosplay. In the prequel trilogy, obviously the originals as well, but there was a real like weight
Would you call
to
that bad cosplay? I think
yeah
it's safe to say it looked like good cosplay, but good cosplay is still not movie quality. Do you get what I'm saying? Like
yeah
that's I if
yeah.
that were if you showed up to a convention in that would be impressive.
I mean, sure, I guess, but there was a real weight to the costumes in the prequel trilogy, and say what you want about the films, but like the costuming was excellent. This one just looks like I don't know if it's like the material or the way that it sits on it, the way that they fitted it to the characters. It just even like the main Jedi
Is the
robes in this.
costuming okay? Okay, see, I was gonna say like if does the using those as Jedi robes fall under the costuming? Because if so, no, it wasn't. But if we're just talking about like the actual construction of it, then yeah, I can get with that.
I still think it's weird how we had those white robes for like one scene in the first episode, and now we just
I
have like the brown
oh
Jedi robes again.
Ridge, it was Ridge who actually said they had read the High Republic, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. If there's an explanation to why that was in one scene, please let us know.
I thought maybe it might
Like,
be
did they just wear those
masters.
on?
Masters get a white robe or something, and the Padawans are in like
But
the
they both
brown.
had a white. What? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know. Bath Time says, "Oh
Yeah.
my God, Chris, why is everyone so mad about this?" I'm guessing Bath Time probably liked it then by that comment. Explain your thoughts, Bath Time, so we can have a
No,
conversation.
no. Wasn't Bath Time the one who said they're waiting till the end of
Well,
the series to watch all of it?
I thought he said like
I
he
know
hadn't
somebody
seen the
said that last
episode
week.
yet, so he was going to watch it, and I don't know if he's just like watched it now and he's jumped on the stream now he's finished the episode. I'm not sure. Brinsley says, I liked seeing the Padawan in the flashbacks without his fake
Oh,
beard from episode 2. Why didn't they just recast someone? It's so bad. Like, you get Tommen from Game of Thrones and then just put him in, like, a really awful sideburn beard and, like, balding.
yeah. I was.
Yeah.
He looked weird. He looked like Neil Patrick Harris in a series of unfortunate events.
Mm. Yeah.
And once I realized that, I couldn't unsee that. And then actually, I have a note here. Seeing him young, it suddenly explains why Master Torben was an obviously young person in makeup.
It's just so bewildering to me. It's just. And here's the thing as well. Do you think we're going to get more flashback episodes, or do you think we're done with it?
Um, I don't think we're done with flashbacks. I think we're done with flashback episodes.
Because where we find Tommen's character, the old Jedi guy, that nothing about that whole thing made sense in episode 2 at all. But he
Well,
says
no,
like,
if I have my last, I'm gonna skip to my last note. I think the Jedi killed the witches because they got there and were like, the kid that said wanted to be a Jedi is now in a burning room. You people are fucking monsters.
well, no, it was May, wasn't it? May had the
No, we know May did that.
right.
I'm saying if the Jedi showed up and saw that the person that this cult that really hates Jedi wanted to be a Jedi is now being burnt to death, they would jump to the conclusion you people are fucking monsters, and go on a killing spree, and it would explain why he went into a 10-year or 15-year meditation, and why he committed suicide, other than the fact that according to It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, suicide is badass. uh if that's why I don't think we're getting another flashback episode, but I think we will get a flashback to that night.
I was going to say, yeah, because if we're done, we need more. And Brinsley says one more flashback, you'll see how Tommen got his scar from self-defense and maybe killed the mother too. Yeah, we need more, because where we see him in last episode where he says like, I'm sorry for what we did, I'm like, you guys didn't do anything. Like, if this is the only episode that we see of that, there's got to be more information. But nothing about last week made sense. Like, he was levitating and sort of using the Force to shield himself as she tried to kill him.
Don't think about where he poops. Do not think about where he poops.
Well, there's that, and like, how does he eat, and the whole cycle. But she tries to kill him, and he's using the Force to sort of defend himself and block her. So she goes away to get poison, which he has to take down his force field to then drink. So why did it have to be poison? Nothing about that made sense. I have no idea
what she was thinking to use poison to do there. I have no idea how poison was going to get through, but nothing else was.
Like, if he wanted to die, just bring the force...
I don't know, maybe make it gas or something? I don't know.
Like, if he wanted to die that bad, like, why did he just let down his defenses on the second meeting? Just let it down on the first meeting and just let her kill you if you feel that bad about it. Like, fuck.
Then the plot wouldn't happen, silly.
Carl says it does feel like the Immaculate Conception does make Anakin feel less special. Yeah, like, they even almost tear up in exactly the same way as Phantom Menace, where they say, like, who was the father? And they say, like, oh, there is no father. There is no father. Yeah, they pretty much do exactly the same shit. So... yeah, I know that they've sort of mentioned, and maybe we'll get more information on this as to how the twins were actually birthed in this, but it does come across as Immaculate Conception. Like, it has to, like, it, yeah.
Not immaculate. Again, let's get it clear. Virginal, not immaculate.
Well,
Virginal, not immaculate. Without sex, but not immaculate.
Okay, well then Anakin wasn't an Immaculate Conception then, because Plagueis and Sidious shot their dark side come across the galaxy
not canon, but also it wasn't them that did it. Like, it was them attempting to do something, but it was the Force's response to that created Anakin.
Yeah. You say it wasn't canon. I thought Revenge of the Sith pretty much heavily implies that it is, though, right?
Revenge of the Sith implies it. There's a deleted line that confirms it, and the book Plagueis makes it canon.
And that's good enough for me.
If it were still canon.
That's good enough for me.
But that book is not canon anymore because it references too much of the EU, which is unfortunate, because the Tarkin book, which is basically a like a sequel to that book, but that one goes into the canon because it was almost finished by the time of the buyout.
Mm-hmm. Brinsley says, yeah, I'm guessing the witches attacked the Jedi first. The Horned Woman was looking for a fight anyway, and probably thought they started the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning. Or May blamed it on the Jedi.
I was thinking it too.
Bath Time says, so it's just another half-baked Star Wars show, nothing ridiculous that has gone against the law or rules or whatever has happened. Yeah, so the thing that's got everyone up in arms a little bit is that, I know we've just sort of like hashed it out there, but it kind of brings up the concept of other chosen ones, almost. The fact that, Anakin was this immaculate, Jesus-like Virgin Mary kind of birth, which I was never keen on that anyway in Phantom Menace, but, that's the story that George told. And now, apparently, there's more of them. These twins were just conceived, it's a cult of women and lesbian couple, and one of them just birthed twins. Like, that's not how things work. Maybe that's how Leslie Headland thinks things work. I don't know. I don't know anymore. Nothing makes any sense anymore in this world, but that's what they present. But they do have a line where they say, like, if the twins found out what you had to do or what you did in order to bring them about, I guess. So maybe we'll get more information on that. And if they do explain it away, then fair enough. As it's presented, and especially kind of reusing that line from Phantom Menace, it does imply another thing like that. Yeah, I think that's probably the main. And then the whole thing that, like, the Force is a thread now that can be plucked and pulled, and they've kind of changed the perception of the Force, maybe possibly vilifying the Jedi as well. There's a few things that are pissing people off with this episode. So, but yeah, we've kind of hashed that out on a lot of those topics already. There's a line, lovely little self-insert line here. The galaxy is not a place that welcomes women like us. which felt like a
So I thought
very
the
meta
same thing
line.
when I heard that, and then later they're like kind of like not the best people. So I'm like, oh, I mean, yeah, no, witches and people who are kind of jump to murder when people they don't like show up.
It's nice that you can make sense of it in the episode, but you have to acknowledge that that line is almost certainly in there
Oh yeah,
because
no, no,
of
well,
yeah.
I straight up no, no, no. Like I said, I thought the exact same thing when I heard the line, and you can, and like I said, then it's like the "I believe you" line in episode one. In the context of the episode, yes, but also there are out of like real world meaning behind the phrase "I believe you,"
Hmm.
especially considering who Leslie or what's her name again?
Leslie Headland.
Leslie Headland.
Yeah, some people say lesbian headlamp, but you know, I don't say these things. Why would I
That
say
will
these
help me
things?
remember that. I
Toby,
think you said that last week.
I completely agree with Toby's comment on this, and again, it's just tearing down legacies, and
God
it's
damn
just
it.
mean spirited. Toby says it's half baked for sure. I would say, at least for me, the episode is offensive because watching it felt akin to a mean spirited mockery of George Lucas's idea. The concept of the Force would have way less of a problem with a new interpretation of Star Wars, but it doesn't establish enough of its own identity, and the script is beyond broken, beyond repair. Broken beyond repair. Sorry. Like a lot of Disney Star Wars, it only means something in relation to other Star Wars media. Well, I mean, I guess
So
I
hang
don't
on.
have things. I don't have a problem with things being connected. You know, if they're tying it into things. But I completely agree with a mockery of George Lucas. Yeah, 100%. It feels like all of his ideas and everything. You know, the story that he was penning, they're just being contrarian and just tearing it down and just yeah. It's like if you don't like this property, if this IP isn't for you, it isn't your thing, then don't try and twist it and contort it. I'm all for directors putting their own stamp on something. Like if they come to the table and want to, you know, for better or worse, a lot of the times it's for worse. But if they want to put their stamp on it, but just don't just be like really hateful towards it. And I kind of get that impression that that's kind of like what Rian Johnson did. JJ Abrams was just safe. That guy's got no fucking creativity of his own at all. Like he tees up questions and then doesn't have the fucking balls to like actually pay anything off, as we saw in The Rise of Skywalker. But just this like really subversive, mean-spirited nature to things. I'm just kind of over it. I just want someone to come in and tell a good, compelling story with, you know, admiration and respect for the franchise that they're adapting, I guess.
Wait, Toby, what do you mean that like a lot of Disney Star Wars should only mean something in relation to other Star Wars media? Like I don't follow.
I guess an example of that might be Mando Season 2, for example, which was very heavy on cameos and, right, we've got to get Boba Fett in there because we're setting him up for a spin-off show, and you need to watch the spin-off show of that to know what happens in Mando Season 3.
No,
And
I know what that means. I just what does that mean here? What is this reliant on? This seems very self-contained. It seems to be trying to pull its own weight.
Bathtime says, is Andor the only show that used the universe and didn't mess about with the Force? I'd love to see them do a Count of Monte Cristo in space or something instead of more Jedi soap operas. Andor, I mean, it didn't really have much of the Force, did it? I think it's, and that's what I appreciated about it. A lot of people said it doesn't feel like Star Wars, and maybe that's one of the reasons that I enjoyed it so much. It was very ground level and showed that real, it felt like a proper seeds of a rebellion and a war, and morally grey. Like, what was Bill Skarsgård's character called? How he has that speech about, you know, there's a bit where a bunch of rebel soldiers are about to be ambushed, and he knows about this, and he knows they're all going to get wiped out by the Empire, but he can't notify them because that would give the jig up that they're onto him and that they've got like a mole in the Empire, so he lets them go to their death. Really complex stuff, really excellent writing, great direction. Some people might not like it because, it doesn't have lightsabers every single episode, and doesn't really have the Force and all of that stuff.
They aren't prepared to kill.
But it was just so much more interesting, and well written, and yeah.
I think Luthen works for
Luthen.
Dooku.
What was it? Luthen, yeah.
I said that. You fuck.
Sorry, I didn't come... Yeah. That's the bad thing, like, I love Andor, but I can't remember the names of any of the fucking characters in it.
You know, you get Luthen, and then you get his wife, Barrion.
Yeah. That's good. I remember he wore a wig, didn't he? He puts on like that persona. I quite like that.
Yes, he did.
That was fun.
It was fabulous.
Yeah. My next note is air-bending hand gestures is ridiculous. It looks so fucking bad. Yeah, but they're doing all of this.
Yeah, it's just like some pagan like cult shit with sort of Christian chanting.
God, yeah,
like,
kind of.
Like, that's like Gregorian.
Well, my next, and then like the random cackling witch, which I sent a video to you earlier. I bust a gut fucking watching that scene. Okay, so right before it, you've already kind of mentioned it, but the black chick's delivering this speech, and she says, "Some would consider our power dark, unnatural," and you were just like, that needed a longer pause. Unnatural. And then right after that, she gives this like rousing speech, and no one interacts apart from one chick in the background who goes like, and like she's waving her hands around. What the? She's like, I don't know what. You compared it to like a round of applause, and that one person has to start it.
And nobody picks it up.
And and no one picks up the applause, so you just hear an awkward, like, scattered clap in the audience. It was so bad. I said, like, they need to replace that with Salacious Crumb's laugh, which would be... Oh, it was so bad. I was just like, what am I watching? This isn't Star Wars. What is this? What am I even watching right now? Toby says love the chanting was easily the best bit. What? The power of one, the power of two, the power of many. I thought that was fucking terrible. I was pissing myself watching it. I also have a note that has because the music, none of this music feels like Star Wars either, and then I just have a note that says Wonder Woman's Justice League theme kicks in. It kind of sounds like something from Gladiator. It's like, yeah. And then I have a note saying, I don't know if you guys have this as well. The gold outfits on the twins look like something you'd wear at the hair salon. You know, they have that like sort of magnetic collar thing they put around you to stop the hair from falling, and then they put the gown over you.
So, I mean, that looks more like something... Oh, okay. So, I mean, it looks more like if you wore the gown for the salon over underneath the vest for the dentist.
Yeah, okay, yeah. It just looked really bad. The cost, I was like, this is 180 mil, and these gold outfits look terrible. It looks so bad. My next note is Wookiee Jedi looks ridiculous. I think it's probably a combination that I think just the...
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, someone said there's a literal rock Jedi now, so hey, maybe I'd rather take a Wookiee Jedi over a fucking rock Jedi, but I just think the idea is silly, and seeing it on screen in live action looks really silly, but I think also, I just don't think the costume's that great on this Wookiee. Like, in the face?
What do you mean?
Like, just, if you look at Chewbacca in, like, the original trilogy, and I even have a problem with this, with the Chewbacca costume in the sequel trilogy, which I don't think looks anywhere near as good as what it did in the original. He actually looked like proper hair, and I think it was like yak hair, wasn't it, or something, the original costume.
He's got like a perm in Force Awakens.
Well, that's kind of all the costumes. Like, Admiral Akbar doesn't look as good, Nien Nunb certainly doesn't look as good. Like, I don't know what happened to the puppets and the costumes in the sequel trilogy compared to the OT. But yeah, just the Wookiee head just doesn't look good. It doesn't look like the Wookiees in like Revenge of the Sith or something, or like Chewbacca in the OT.
they look glossier. Like they're made like they look like they're made
Yeah,
from the same molds but of different material.
and covered in like Vaseline. Like they're just shiny. I
I
don't.
think it's meant to look like it's alive, maybe, but yeah, no, I don't think it works as well as they seem to.
Toby says,
Although
oh god, sorry.
that said, the new aliens actually, huh? I'm thinking about the glossiness on, like, say, the thing with the First Order spy in Maz's cantina with the tusks.
Oh, that was kind of cool. I didn't mind that one.
Yeah, but the thing that looks like it's the same material as Akbar
Mm-hmm.
and Nia Numba, and so I'm wondering, and so I think it might just be biased to the first thing, but that like that material might actually just kind of like look better,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't look like it used to.
I remember it being weird when Chewbacca has fingers and thumbs and hits the detonator in Force
Yeah,
Awakens because he just had
that
like
took me off for a second.
he just had like draped hair over his hands. I was like, well, he must have hands, but we never saw him. And then when I saw them, I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. Toby says, so bad it's good. Can you hum any of the themes from this show? Because I'm struggling. Mando has a banging theme
No,
song. Here, I mean, it's fine. Yeah, no,
no, yeah, no.
I couldn't hum any of the music to you at all. Bath Time says, make a Hut Sith, please. Okay, you know the canon better than I do. Is there a Hut Sith? I seem to remember this being a thing.
I know there are Hut warriors. I've seen Hut armor. I don't think I've heard of a Hut Sith. Hang on.
But this fucking Wookiee shows up and he's like, "Rrr, rrr, rrr, rrr." I was like, how
Oh
would you?
my God.
Yeah, I swear there is, isn't there?
Beldorion,
Yeah.
a force-sensitive Hut dark Jedi who served as a Jedi Knight in during the roughly 400 years before the founding of the Empire. He fell to the dark side, and as ruler of the planet, forsaking the Jedi, he established himself as ruler, forsaking the Jedi. He was killed in a lightsaber duel
Yeah,
with
no shit.
Leia Organa Solo, I guess 400 years later.
Well, yeah, no shit. How would you? How could you possibly lose a lightsaber fight against a Hut?
I uh uh
Can he
I
even
don't
swing the
he
lightsaber around? He has like
he held.
he has like tiny little
Here's the thing.
arms.
Jabba's fat. Like Jabba and his family are like the crime lord huts are fat,
Mm,
but not all of them are fat because you've got Nima the Hut from Jakku.
mm.
Now here's the thing though, Beldorion is fat, so your point still stands.
Yeah, that's just it's really bad. But even like the Wookiee Jedi in this, I'm like, how would you, if you're his Padawan, like how would you learn? I'm so glad that, I mean, Sol. I'm gonna get used to it.
Soul, it's like
Soul,
literally, it's like your soul,
Soul.
like the your spirit.
At last, the boy's soul is mine. Like
There you go.
he can barely speak English anyway. But I'm so glad that he at least says like you can be my Padawan if you want to. Imagine if the fucking Wookiee went up and was like, "Rrr, rrr, rrr," and she's like, I can't understand a fucking word that this walking carpet is saying. What does the Rock
So
do?
that
What does
just
Geode
reminded me.
do?
Oh my God, just you're still on this.
That is fucking awful. What is this? That no. Now I've seen like a bunny X-wing pilot. I've seen some shit. I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. But honestly, hearing that tonight, Geode, that might be the dumbest thing I've ever heard in Star Wars. And I've heard some
Yeah, no,
doozies.
this is like Mogo the Living Planet.
Toby says Disney switched to vegan Wookiee suits for modern audiences. It wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't. Um,
I could listen to JX talk about ancient Hut history for hours. I'm sure I could find something to fill the gaps.
oh god, sign me up for the episode of Zero the Hut.
No.
Motherfucker sounds like... Do you remember Droopy, the cartoon character, the dog? Like, yeah, like he
No.
just...
Oh, yes.
He just
You're
sounds...
right.
He just sounds exactly like him.
Oh, the sun is so hot on my skin. And then you get a clone trooper saying the words, "Oh my God." Which the implications of that...
Well, there's Godspeed Rebels
They
in
have
The
a
Last
god.
Jedi.
Well, the thing is, that's a little G.
It's... I guess so. Still means the same thing. Yeah, I've got Where is their father? They have no father. Oh, yeah, I've got...
I carried him,
Saul.
I raised him.
Saul, when they bring out... so they bring out the kids, and he kind of kneels before one, and he just hands her the lightsaber to a random kid, and he says, "Hey, do you want to be a Jedi? You want to have cool shit like that?" He just hands the lightsaber to her. What if she's like, "Hey, what does this button do?" "No, wait, don't touch that." And, like, fucking kills herself.
Well,
or
then
him.
you stay in range to keep him from doing that.
It just felt very, grooming, kind of
like,
manipulative, like...
As having, like, spoken... Here's the thing. American cops do it. I hate that American cops do it, but it is a thing.
It just says, "Hey, do you want to be a Jedi?" You
fucking cops.
It's like, "Hey, do you want the lightsaber? Yeah, you want the lightsaber? Yeah, do you want the ice creams? Sorry, do you want spiced creams? Yeah,
I got all sorts of kyber crystals.
I got a whole fridge full of
my
spiced
van.
Yeah. Oh, I like to fuck my cat.
Jeez. Hey, do you think we'll see any, like, any of the Jedi Masters when they were younglings? You know, I'd love to see Boy Soul.
Give me that leg, boy.
Oh my God.
Hey,
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
If it means we can get Danny DeVito in... Okay, who would Danny DeVito play in Star Wars? There you go, that's a question.
A Hutt?
Would he play the Jedi? Yeah, oh my God, get him to play that Jedi Hutt.
What was the name again? Hang on.
Oh, Glorfin... I don't know, what was his name?
Is Beldorian.
Beldorian.
Hey, I'm Beldorian. This is my planet now.
Why is he Russian?
No, that's Jersey. That's Danny DeVito, man. This is my planet. That's Joey Wheeler from Yu-Gi-Oh.
She was a no good whore.
Hey, editing episode 3 like that paints Padme like a whore. She is a whore.
Or we could have him as or we could literally just have, and this would be right up Disney Street as well. We could just have Ongo Gablogian in there, just as he is. Get him in there.
Acolyte.
Yeah.
If we go down that hall, we're not coming back out.
Oh no. I like going down the
okay.
hall.
So I got some notes about the scene where she goes to take her test.
Oh yeah.
We need new Wookiee sounds. We can agree to disagree on the costume, but we've been listening to the same Wookiee sounds for 45 years.
We heard a whole lot of them in the holiday special. I heard some Wookiee...
We hear a lot of ones we don't hear anymore in that one.
I'm very glad because a lot of it is when Grandpa Wookiee's watching porn. I don't want to hear those sounds ever again. He's got like the underbite going on. Ugh. Toby says, give me Kit Fisto becoming Master Fisto. Hell yeah. You know, they don't call him Kit Fisto because he's in a GS.
God damn it.
Yeah. One of my favourite bits in that review is where he's just like, "I'm going to send you a pizza roll. When I send it, you shove it up your ass," and it just shows you a picture of Kit Fisto. Oh,
Oh God.
Brinsley says, you gotta pay the troll toll to test that boy's soul. Troll toll. What do you
I
say?
did this. That one's me. That one's on me.
Troll toll. Hey, hey, hey. Sorry.
No, I like that you did that note bad, like he does.
Yeah.
Another thing, I would have changed the line from "there are other children there" to just "other children," because one of them doesn't make her seem like she hasn't thought of this slightly.
Yeah, I thought that too. It says they have thousands. Thousands.
That's a lot of kids. Actually, I mean, that's a what? I mean, how do you define a child though? Grogu, how long is Grogu a child?
Well, if he's Yoda species, when 900 years old you reach, look as good you or not, and he fucking croaks at the age of 90. Grogu's like 52 now or something, isn't he? He's like early 50s, and he's still
He's
talking
5.
like a baby.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, I swear to God, he was supposed to talk at the end of season 3.
Yeah.
I have no idea why the hell they kept teasing that he was going to talk.
Oh, I know why. Because
Maybe
that was probably
talk
the
in the
original
movie?
intention, and then Disney said, no, this is our cash cow. Like, he's got to be a baby. Like, they're doing a fucking movie on it now. The Mandalorian and Grogu, which is a terrible name for a
Maybe
film.
he'll talk at the end of that.
No, because they got to keep the cutesy baby shit going. That's what everyone likes with Grogu. But he did nothing in season 3.
This is the way.
No, second thoughts, I don't want to hear him talk. Carl Roberts says, does Disney really believe this is what we want from Star Wars? Yeah, they don't give a shit. They want to stir the pot. I don't know.
All right.
Apparently, they're doubling down with this shit.
Fuck yeah.
In the coven of of witches, most of which are human. You have like the Darth Maul chick. There is, however, one of the most terrifying, nightmare-inducing.
What is this?
One of my sleep paralysis demons shows up. I don't even know what.
Should I pull up the picture?
Yeah, this CGI. I don't even know what you'd call it. And I just had, again, going back to Red Letter Media.
What is this?
Oh, hang on, keep backing up a little bit. Your brightness is very high on your screen. If you bump the brightness down just a tad. And move it to the side. Others, keep going that way.
But then now you're on it, but now the rest of it is on it.
There you go.
Now...
Pause. There we go. Oh my God! What's wrong with your face? It looks awful.
Like that's a what a like. Okay. I'd love to see a familiar alien we haven't seen old before be old. That would be a great, like, creative thing for us to... What does an old Rhodian look like? Let's find out.
That looks like something they forgot to put... They forgot to put in cats.
It looks a little... It looks a little under-rendered, honestly. It looks kind of like Unkar Plutt in the scene where he gets his arm ripped off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just... Yeah.
All right?
Toby says, Book of Boba messed up Grongo big time. Who's Grongo Baggins? Who's Grongo? And he means he means Grogu, but I'm going to call him Grongo from now on.
Oh, okay. I thought Grongo might have been like one of the Gamorreans.
No. I love that name. It's so much better. Oh yeah, and then I think it's Osha says to Tommen Jedi, she says, referring to the lightsaber, do all Jedis get one of these? And he says, yes, after much training. I'm like, Rey just kind of got a lightsaber because
that's what you were talking about.
Yeah, like, no, like, Rey gets a lightsaber. Sabine gets a lightsaber. I guess she had slightly more training than Rey.
Also point out, both of them inherited their lightsabers.
Well, yeah, so did Luke, but he still trained.
Hang on. He got his lightsaber before he trained.
He did. He didn't use it in A New Hope. Not really. Waves it around a little bit. That's
You
it.
trained with it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying they didn't say you don't use it without training. They say you don't get it without training. If you're going to call it out, call them all out.
No, the
No,
difference is that Luke was the last fucking one, pretty much. Like, desperate
no,
times.
the difference is you have decided. Fuck off. Just point it out.
What? The
Because
fact that there
Rey
are
was also the
thousands,
last
there are
fucking one.
thousands of Jedi at this point, and the one that you're referring to is that there's like one left, one proper one left. I think they can just like
Chris,
do away with the
one
rules at
you
that
were
point.
referring to was there was one left because you talked about Rey and Sabine. Like
There's
this had
loads,
nothing
there's
to
loads
do with
left
what
during
Corbin
Sabine.
said.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
There's loads left during the time with Sabine. Look at all the fucking
No, there
survivors
aren't.
of Order 66.
You know, Sabine, when Sabine gets the sabers, it's after Return of the
Oh,
Jedi,
so,
right?
yeah, well, you've got
Like,
Ahsoka, you've got Luke training, about to train people. You got Sabine.
Luke didn't train anybody. Luke's first apprentice was Leia, and that's not yet.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Unless
she
we're
is
counting Grogu.
first. Oh, okay. We see him building the little huts with the little droid things, which is
I
weird.
don't think she was his first. There were other girls on Tatooine, and Biggs, of course, with that
Biggs, yeah.
mustache.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
They don't
yeah.
call him Biggs for nothing.
Then they hand her like, I guess, like a Jedi pamphlet, like the rules, like welcome to the Jedi
brochure.
Training Academy. Like, we're glad to have you here. Here are a few little rules and tips and tricks.
Welcome to our academy. You will find the key to your room and a complimentary food voucher enclosed in this envelope.
Anyway, this little
doesn't
pamphlet
work.
gets burnt. And I was just like, the sacred Jedi texts.
Oh, wait a second. Are you talking about the book with the Jedi symbol in it? Oh, that's what she was drawing at the beginning. When her sister wanted to look at her book, and
it
she
was
was
a
like, "No,
sketchbook.
I don't want."
Oh, okay.
And she was like, "Yeah."
I fucking tuned out of this shit. I told you I was like,
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna have to watch the ending
about.
again.
I forgot. Like, I didn't know what you were talking about. I was like, "Oh, did I forget that there was a fucking brochure?"
I kind of wish there is a
That
brochure.
seems like something that would have stuck out. I know, right?
Maybe
I
it
was
like
excited.
maybe it like you get to like the main reception
really
and there's like
wanted it
a
to be
map
true.
of the place, like you are here. But yeah, apparently one lantern burns down the whole island. Or what is it, like a volcano or a mountain they're on?
I don't know.
This thing burns
I
metal,
honestly,
it burns
when they
stone.
said May started a fire, I was expecting it to be a bigger fire.
Yeah, like she just has like a candle, like a single lantern, and then next thing you know, within the span of a couple of minutes, everything's gone.
Well, I don't know how much of it was burning.
A lot. That it was burnt to the ground. It was razed to the ground. The whole mountain was on fire.
Do we see the exterior? Because
Yeah,
because
I think we
the
do.
only time, because I know like there was like a bit of a red ambience and a smoky haze when they're like leaving and you see all the bodies, but I don't remember seeing like fire there. I think it was like they told May that they all died in the fire, but I think they killed the fire was not even near them when they died.
I might be misremembering. I thought we got an exterior shot of the mountain and it was all aflame.
We very well could have. I might have been taking a note.
I feel like that happened, but I might be mistaken. Anyway, and then they just take her away, and the rest is history, I guess. I feel like we need a bit more information. And that's
Well, yeah. I think the thing is that's kind of the idea.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've gotten a like enough information that we know we need more information.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's all the notes I've got. Pretty much that was the last one I had.
So like I said, new Wookiee sounds. Change the "there are other children there" to just "other children." I like that Soul specifically promised that she'd never feel like this again. Like, it's not a promise that this would never happen again. Nothing like this would happen. It's a promise you will not feel like this again. Because the first line of the Jedi Code is, there is no emotion, there is peace.
He's like, yeah, it's not like the Jedi Temple's gonna get burnt down on Coruscant or anything.
Oh, they won't live for that.
Yeah. Not unless
actually,
you're a Maz Kanata alien, I guess. Then you might see it.
No, no. He would be like born. I really want Sabayoth in something canon.
Brinsley says,
Like,
it was
I
intentionally
with
kind of
Sabayoth.
hazy in the backstory. We only see from one character's POV. Yeah.
hmm Yeah, no, this whole thing we saw so far. This has been from the whole series has been from May and Osha's perspective, except for those little bits on Coruscant. And actually, no, we saw plenty of stuff with the other Jedi, but that flashback was definitely exclusively an Osha story.
Mm-hmm.
We know the audience knows what she knows. Probably suspect more than she suspects, though.
Mm-hmm.
Although, in the past 2 episodes, they were really doing away with the dragging out the drama and not knowing things trope. Like, they really just kind of were just like, hey, you did this thing. Actually, seems like they didn't do the thing. Oh, I guess they didn't do the thing. Like, in most other things, that would get, like, stretched for a while. And I'm glad it didn't get needlessly stretched. And so, with that in mind, we might actually, like, she might start asking some questions next episode.
Well, as I say, characters flip-flop left, right, and centre. Like Soul, even in episode 1 and 2, he was like, "That's impossible. May is dead. I saw it with my own eyes." And then by the end of the episode, he's like, "I believe you." Like,
She fell down a hole.
She's back. Like, I believe you now, and all is forgiven. And then this one, as I say, like the main witch chick seemed really dead set against the Jedi, and then within the next scene, she's cool with sending her children away with them with a group that it seemed like she was really antagonistic against. I guess
The dialogue I would say the dialogue more or less justifies that when they because Pointy Head, that is a reference to Alfred, by the way. Pointy Head says, "Let's just kill the Jedi." And like, we strike now, and they're like, if we do that, then the Republic will be up our ass. And then the "what's wrong with your face" lady is like, listen, either they take the test and pass, or they take the test and fail. Those are our only options.
Well, no, like the Republic could send, I don't know, troops or more Jedi and be like, "Hey, we sent some Jedi here. Like, have you seen them?" And they could be like, "I know nothing of any Jedi. You must be mistaken."
Yeah, because that always works. Well, even if they get away with it, it brings more attention to them.
Mm. I don't know, man. This show to me, it's poorly acted. The actor, especially all the episodes so far, but especially this one, the acting's bad. I feel like the writing's terrible, and the writing that is in the show.
I like the writing of the test scene where it's a playoff of the scene in Phantom Menace.
Mm-hmm. Oh, did you like that there was that
she's, like,
cat, that cat thing was one of the pictures?
Oh, there was a Loth cat. I did notice that, yeah. I didn't like or dislike it. It just happened. But I liked that was an homage to the scene from Phantom Menace. But it's actually like kind of better than the one in Phantom Menace, because we just hear Anakin say a ship, a cup, a speeder, and then
that's what you meant to do.
Mace Windu nod. Right. But the thing is, we don't really like focus on what Mace Windu's looking at. Like, it would have been nice to see, like, oh, he's seeing the thing without seeing the thing. Like, between the shot of, you know what I'm talking about? Mace holding the thing.
It's not important though, because you know that, like, he nods and you get all the information that you need, and then they continue the scene. I don't feel like they needed to drag that out and see every single slide.
Thing. You get all the we got all the information that we need. As a kid, I didn't get all the information that I needed. It was not clear what was going on there.
I mean, I guess it's cool that Jedi have
like
iPads.
Literally one shot of the screen with it corresponding to what he said was all that scene needs, and this kind of proves it.
Toby
Well,
says,
no, it doesn't kind of prove it, but it might provide a source shot to make that shot.
mm. Toby says,
What's this dubious?
found it puzzling that May and Osha are depicted as constantly fighting. Have they been like this since birth? Are the witches supposed to be seen as bad parents? I guess so. Kind of say that.
I would just say that Osha, like, May doesn't seem to like Osha's independence. I would assume that that's a more recent thing, as that she has developed as a person, or begun to develop into a person, I should say.
Carl says, in all the films and TV shows, we've never seen the Jedi trials. Didn't we see that in the Clone Wars TV series with Anakin, with like those alien people, like the blue aliens?
They say what it is. They say what the trials are. I know this will generate debate, but I suggest to it in this time of war. My Padawan Anakin to Jedi Knight. Surely he suffered an enormous trial of the flesh at the hands of Count Dooku. And he suffered a trial of he underwent a trial of skill when he defeated that assassin on the fourth moon of Yavin. And he has continued to pass every test of courage this war has dealt him, which means he would only have one trial left: face the test of the spirit facing the mirror, which is what the blue people thing is.
Yeah.
So, flesh, skill, courage, spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Time. Together they create the infinity.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I have nothing. Like, you guys know my opinion on this show. We know why this show was made, and this show kind of doubled down with that more than anything. It just seems like it's kind of a... It doesn't feel like a passion project by someone that really genuinely loves Star Wars. It feels like a mean-spirited... we're going to tear the ideas down of what came before. Like, I don't get the idea that someone really genuinely likes Star Wars.
What's been torn down? What's being torn down?
Like, just George Lucas's story and like the messages that he was putting across.
No, that's an idea. That, like, what is actually being... What the hell are you talking about?
Is someone trying to revitalize, reinvent the Force, reinvent their own laws in the world that contradict things?
But they're not reinventing the Force. They're showing a new perspective on the Force from a new coven. That's a thing that's been done by Lucas and other people.
I just feel like vilifying the Jedi. Like, we've seen this like for years with Disney.
But again, I don't see this one as vilifying the Jedi. This one's showing the Jedi as flawed but well-meaning. Like, I've seen the Jedi vilified a lot, and the opinion of the people that, like, the Jedi are seeing, because they're treated very vilified by these witches, but their behavior isn't that deplorable. Like, it's not one-to-one with what they seem to be expecting. Like, they're saying they're going to take our children, but they ask Osha, "Do you want to be a Jedi?"
Oh, I can see that. I think it was just their initial entrance, like they showed up unannounced. Like, I just don't feel like the Jedi would do that.
Also, so you asked me earlier, and the dehumidifier in the wine cellar was beeping, so I could not answer. Ringing. Plo Koon, Ahsoka. So Ahsoka became the Jedi with that. But the whole Padawan selection process. If a child is Force sensitive, and the Jedi Order find out about it, they'll usually go and talk to the parent, and they will ask the parent if the child can become a Jedi, and usually if the answer is yes, the child will remain with the mother, with the parents until the development, like, starts, like, until like 2 or 3. Well, until they can like, because we see Cad Bane kidnap a bunch of prospective Jedi, and when he all he does is put on a robe, and one of the mothers is like, "But you said it wouldn't be a few years," and he says, "There's someone coming to take the children," because that's what Cad Bane sounds like. Uh, and he just gives her a rock that makes her like sleepy or something.
Is it
But
geode?
so no, no, I said a rock. It's like a hypnosis like thing. It's tech. It's not rock. I don't know why I said rock. Because I'm thinking of geode. The fuck is geode?
To be honest, I'm surprised the Jedi in this even wanted to even entertain the notion of training Osher and May, because even
They're too
Anakin,
old.
Anakin's probably about the same age as the girls in this, and they say that he is too old, and it's only from like
Yeah, no,
massive pressure
Anakin
from Qui
is
Gon
like
and
a
Obi
year
Wan.
older than they were.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, yeah, Anakin was a year older. They even comment about her. She was much older than most Jedi, than most children when they joined the Order. Um, I think I would have said before this episode that it was probably due like to the loss that she actually got in,
mm,
but oh shit. But considering the fact that she was already selected, I would more say it's probably due to the fact that she'd already been starting to be trained as a witch, and that's like one less witch,
mm,
or at least that's why they're like, well, let's take her to the council.
yeah.
Because again, apparently you need to be brought before. Although they do the tests that the council does, but they still had to deliberate. So never mind. So
Mm.
yes, still probably needed to be brought up to the council.
Um,
Also, something I wanted to point out. Oh, in the Old Republic, in Old Canon, the uh too old, like the younger Jedi, like the average age of the apprentice gets smaller until we get to the prequels.
mm, yeah.
There's actually comments about that in the Darth Bane books because they one of the Sith don't want to take Bane because he's like, dude, he's 30, and they're like, yeah, but he's got so much potential, plus the Jedi could take him. It's like, yeah, but he's gonna be hard to train. We like him young, malleable. It's like, you sound like a Jedi. Like, it's not gonna be long before they only accept infants. It's just like, you're right, not wrong, actually. You were 1,000 years off the mark.
I don't know, man. This whole thing, as I
I will
say,
say,
it's made for one
for
reason. Yeah.
edit wise, I have used for this footage.
Well, that's good. Wasn't for wasn't completely go to waste then, I suppose.
Oh, not at all.
Yeah, for me, I mean, they've been quite public about why this show was made, and
Oh, totally.
how they're just trying to rile people up, and just
Oh, thank you,
their
Toby.
own baggage and their own messages and stuff like that, rather than just telling a compelling story. I mean, 180 million and the keys to the kingdom to make anything Star Wars related, and this is the best thing they can make. This Star Wars Acolyte. This is what we've been presented with. There's a
Wait, I
million
thought
and one
Andor
other
was the
projects that
best
they
thing they
could
can
do
make.
that would be much more interesting, and especially with a budget that high, you could do some wonderful things with a good writing team and a good, story team and director behind it. That ain't Disney's MO at the moment, and certainly not with Star Wars at the moment. So, yeah, it's just another day at the races, isn't it? Pretty much at this point. Well, that's my take on it anyway. I know we differ on it, but it does allow for a nice bit of back and forth. It does allow for some nice clarification, bit of a different dynamic. So everyone is catered to, and everyone in between. And it seems like from the comments tonight, we've had a bit of a mixed bag of like sort of people's take on this as well. Some people are a bit more lenient. Some tend to, my opinion. Some agree with yourself. So it's good. It's good. We will be back next Wednesday at the same time as well, 9:30 p.m. for episode 4. I don't think there's any information on it just yet, like titles and stuff. Like you never really get them. I think this one was called Destiny. I thought they were going to do something where they were going to have like the / in the title every single week.
Slash.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'll have to check.
I'm glad they stopped doing that, but yeah. So we'll be back for some more Star Wars talk. So alongside this, so like running parallel to the Star Wars talks, I'm doing my Disney retrospective. The next review is going to be Aladdin, which I'm really looking forward to. Usually that's on a Monday. We've got some, like, our schedules don't marry up next week, so that's probably going to get pushed back to Tuesday, just by one day. But yeah, so Disney and Star Wars, the two an item now. So 2 videos a week. So look forward to that. Thank you to everyone that's tuned in and kept the conversation going, though. I appreciate everyone taking the time out of their evening to join us tonight. It's always great. JX, before we sign off, if you want to tell people where they can find you, what you've got in the pipeline, what you're working on, and all that good stuff.
Oh, my pipes are backed up. But if you want to look at what's already come out, feel free to go to youtube.com/JXEditor, and maybe something will squirt out of those pipes pretty soon.
Nice. And if you want to check out those pipes, link in the description to JX channel right there. So yeah, head over there.
I feel like I should sing now so you can check out my pipes.
Oh, thank God, those are the pipes we're talking about. But yeah, head over there, give them a subscribe. If you enjoy Star Wars content, there's a whole bunch over there on JX's channel, actually. A whole varied amount of stuff from many projects.
If you want proof that the sequel trilogy was one movie away from actually working, I did that.
Yep, that's Spark, I believe, right?
A Spark of Hope.
Spark of Hope. Which I will be watching when I get some free time, which is going to be great. I'm going to get some snacks. Yeah. We're going to get some booze. Since
December.
We might even do a live stream. It's going to be great.
Says he's my friend. He hasn't watched it yet.
I will watch it. I've been busy. I'm sorry. I will watch it.
I know. No,
yeah. Have a good night, everyone. Stay safe, and yeah, we'll see you on the next one.